Hey everyone, Tyler Lavoie here, financial planner. And before we get into today's video, I want to tell you why I made it. Most of what you'll see online about retirement is about numbers, withdrawal rates, portfolios, Social Security timing, and those things matter genuinely. But today I really want to talk about something different, something quieter, the risks that nobody really talks about, but eventually everyone has to face. This one's a little bit more personal, so let's get into it. According to Social Security Administration life tables, a 65-year-old man today has a median life expectancy of 82. A 65-year-old woman is 85. And for married couples, research indicates there's roughly a 1 in 2 chance that at least one spouse reaches age 90. Sit with that for a second. A retirement that begins at 65 could last 25 to 30 years. That is not a short chapter. That is a third of your life. And here's the honest part. Most financial plans I come across were built with maybe 15 years in mind. If your plan hasn't been updated to reflect how long retirement can actually last, that is worth a second look. Here's how I think about a complete retirement plan. Picture an iceberg. Above the surface, the part everyone sees, the part every advisor talks about, you've got the numbers, right? But below the surface, the part that's much bigger and much less talked about, I want you to really let that sink in for a moment. Most advisors spend 100% of their time above the surface. All the training, all the tools, all the conversations focused on the smaller part of the overall iceberg. But the bigger part, the part that actually determines whether your retirement feels good, often goes completely unaddressed. That's the gap this video is about. A complete plan has to address both. So let's start with below the surface. With something almost nobody asks you in a financial planning meeting, what are you actually going to do with your time? Retirement itself removes the title, it removes the schedule, and the built-in social structure that work provided, all at once and often overnight. Research suggests that retirees with a strong sense of purpose report better health outcomes, lower rates of depression, and a greater satisfaction with retirement overall. So here's a question worth sitting with. Purpose doesn't retire when you do. What are you going toward, not just away from? What does a genuinely meaningful week actually look like for you? I'd argue purpose is a financial planning issue, not just a lifestyle one. It drives spending, it drives the healthcare costs and health costs. It even drives how long people choose to keep working, right? It belongs in the plan, not just as an afterthought, but as a real conversation piece. Now, let's talk about something people rarely say out loud, even to their own advisor. Even people who have, by every reasonable measure, enough, carry real anxiety into retirement. There are 4 fears that come up again and again. The first is running out of money. Even financially secure retirees worry about this. It's emotional, not always rational, but it's absolutely real. Second is losing independence. The fear of becoming a burden to children or a spouse is one of the most common concerns I hear and one of the least discussed. Third is cognitive decline. What happens to the plan if one spouse loses capacity? Who makes the decisions? Does the plan even hold together? And finally, healthcare uncertainty. One serious illness can change everything, and the unknown cost of care creates a kind of anxiety that spreadsheets simply can't resolve. A plan that addresses only the numbers and not these fears leaves the most important work undone. Where you live in retirement shapes your finances, your health, and your relationships more than most people plan for. 2/3 of adults 65 and older have difficulty walking or climbing stairs. Over 30% experience a fall each year, and about 80% say they want to stay in their own homes. But here's the gap though. According to the industry data, only about 1% of US homes meet the 5 basic design criteria for aging in place. That gap needs a plan, not a hope. So here are the questions a complete plan addresses. Is your home set up for aging in place? What modifications might be needed? What's the plan if staying home is no longer safe? And how long and how does housing fit into your overall financial picture? Because at some point, most families face this, planned or not. About 70% of long-term care claims begin at home, not in a facility. According to AARP, 53 million of Americans provide unpaid care to an adult family member, and the Genworth Cost of Care Survey found the average monthly cost of assisted living in the United States in 2024 was $7,698. Family caregiving is often unpaid, but it carries real financial consequences: reduced work hours, missed career advancements, personal health costs for the caregiver just as much as the people being cared for, which raises the planning questions that matter. Who provides the care if it's needed? What does it actually cost? And is there a plan to protect the caregiver's financial life as well, not just the person receiving care? Here's the number most retirement calculators quietly underestimate: $315,000. That's the estimated out-of-pocket healthcare cost for a 65-year-old couple in retirement. Individual costs will vary significantly, but 3 things drive that number. First, Medicare isn't free. Premiums, deductibles, and uncovered services add up. So it's worth planning for meaningful out-of-pocket costs even with Medicare coverage in place. Second, long-term care. Roughly 7 in 10 people turning 65 will need some form of long-term care. And the average nursing facility stay, according to Genworth data, exceeds $8,800 a month. And third, healthcare inflation historically runs 1% to 2% above general inflation, which sounds small until you compound it over 25-year retirement. That gap becomes very significant. So let's talk about legacy, not just the estate document version. What do you actually want to leave behind, and to whom? There is financial legacy, asset transfer, inheritance, charitable giving. What do you want your money to do after you're gone? There's values legacy, which talks about what beliefs, what lessons, and stories do you want to pass on. Legacy is often more about how you lived than what you accumulated. And there's generosity during life. Some of the most meaningful legacy decisions happen while you're still here to see them land. Direct gifts to grandchildren, time given to causes that matter to you, generosity that you get to witness instead of just plan for. I'll say this plainly because it's something I believe. The goal isn't just to build wealth. It's to build something worth handing down. How do you actually organize all this? I think about a complete longevity plan as covering 5 specific areas. First is plan. Integrated financial planning, income, investments, estate, tax strategy. Protect. Guarding against fraud, identity theft, healthcare disruption, and unexpected losses. Care. Navigating health insurance, caregiving needs, and aging in place decisions. Thrive. This is purpose, community, encore, careers, the non-financial side of retirement that we talked about earlier. And finally, share. Organizing, storing, and transferring your legacy, both documents and values. Here's the honest observation. Most financial plans cover plan. That is just the first one. A truly complete plan addresses all 5, and that's a meaningfully different and more useful conversation to have. And I want to introduce you to a concept. Think of it more like something I'd bring up over coffee than a seminar. It's a Japanese concept called Ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for being. It's the convergence of 4 things: what you love, what you're good at, what the world sees, and what you can be valued for. 4 questions worth actually sitting down and answering. Living a long retirement really means more than just financial security. It means having something to live for. And here's how I'd put it. Retirement isn't an ending. It's the clearest opportunity most people will ever have to live with purpose. That belongs in your plan, right alongside the numbers, not as something separate from it. And so this is where financial planning and stewardship meet. For me personally, the numbers truly matter. The income plan matters. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. That's real work and it deserves real attention. But a life well lived in retirement isn't just about what you have. It's about what you do with it for your family, for your community, and for the purposes you've been building toward your whole entire life. That belief is at the center of how I try to do this work. Not because it sounds good, but because I've seen what it means when people get to live it out truly and fully. So what I want to try to do is bring this together. On one side, the financial foundation. This is looking at income planning, investment strategy, tax efficiency, Social Security optimization, the estate documents, Medicare and healthcare coverage, so on and so forth. On the other side, you've got the human layer, purpose and identity, housing and aging in place, caregiving coordination, long-term care planning, legacy and generosity, and fear and anxiety, and emotional well-being. Both halves matter equally. A plan that only covers that left column, the financial foundation, addresses the numbers, but it misses the person. So let me leave you with 5 things from this video. 1, a healthy retirement can last 25 to 30 years. The plan needs to match that timeline, not the old assumptions. 2, the below the surface risks, purpose, housing, caregiving, healthcare, legacy are all just as important as the financial ones, and most plans ignore them entirely. 3 is fear and anxiety in retirement are real, even for people who are financially, quote unquote, well prepared. And acknowledging them is part of the planning process, not separate from it. 4, legacy is more than a estate document. It includes what you give, how you live, and the values that you ended up ultimately passing along. And finally, a complete retirement plan addresses both the financial foundation and the human layer. If any of this resonated with you, if you found yourself thinking about the parts of your own retirement that don't show up on a spreadsheet, I loved to have a conversation with you. You can book a conversation through the QR code. My name's Tyler Lavoie. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.